Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Tonight, I'm joined by my good cousin, and I thought that we might, or we should, make a video regarding the elites of our countries and our expectations. Obviously, we are immigrants, and upon coming here, immigrating across the Atlantic, we were surprised to find that democracy works in a certain way, unexpectedly, I would say, and that is we are asked for our opinion maybe once, that is our vote, and then they will do whatever they want for their term, being 4 years, 5 years, 6 years term. It depends. It depends. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about the Ukraine war in general, or maybe particular Ukraine war in general, about how these elites are not consulting us when they drag our countries into various wars or global calamities, I would call what's going on in Ukraine. So we had often conversations, and I thought it would be great, and he agreed to have this conversation and upload it on YouTube. So go ahead. Thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you for inviting me. We are looking at our societies and we are educated to believe that it is democracy, democratos, the power to the people. And usually there is a tendency to criticize other societies which wouldn't be so open to the opinion of the population. And I'm wondering, in this conflict, for example, with Ukraine, there is a lot of conversation. Who's going to win? What are going to be the implications? So everything is starting from the point of view that we have to have this war. We have to have a certain position in this war. But as in life, you have to, prior to entering into a conflict, the question is, what can you do to avoid it? Then, if you go into the conflict, is how much you are going to be invested in it. And to me, what is concerning is that on every level, in the Western societies, in Russia, in Ukraine, everybody is considered that they just have to follow the leader. The leader, be it Zelensky, Putin, or Biden, Trudeau, while the question is, are they doing a sound policy? Is it going to be better or worse for us? And why we start the conversation from being behind somebody, because that's not democracy, is being consulted by somebody. When they are looking for votes from us, they are saying, I want to serve. Right? Everybody, especially Trudeau, these liberals, and they are meant to serve. But eventually, look at what they are doing. Are they serving us? The inflation that you have right now, all of us, is it serving us? The interest rates that are going to kill half of our mortgages in Canada, is it serving us? Why is nobody asking us? And it's a global phenomenon. They would complain about Xi Jinping or whatever, and they would say, this is not a democracy or whatever. But I would like to, for example, do you remember any of the leaders having conversations with various people that would take a different position and trying to convince them or asking or because I personally, I just see a certain line and that's it.
I think the lack of debate, is one thing that I think we're surprised to find lacking here. We come from a communist system, socialist system with a communist party in Romania, and we are familiar with one-party system and the idea that a strong leader and the leader makes all the decisions. But democracy, it's these leaders representing us. Whereas here it seems like we're not consulted whatsoever when these guys are making decision. Like for instance, as a U.S. citizen, I was not consulted if United States should give, I don't know, $100 billion in supposed aid. It's not aid. It's military weapons to kill people. I was not asked, and I'm not asked. And the point is, why is this the way it should be? We're coming from, as I said, we lived under Ceausescu, and when Ceausescu said something, that's the way it was. When he made a decision, that's the way it was. The adults went and voted. Ceausescu was voted in the office. The same as here. It's just the same. He was in the office, he was saying what he's gonna do, and that's it, unopposed. Biden supposedly goes and asks for money from Congress to send to Ukraine, and the Congress obliges. I have no power over this. I don't know how exactly it's in Canada, but
Canada is a different animal because in there the population doesn't have any control of. There is an elite, a political elite, that there is zero conversation. Everything is kept, and that's why they have so much immigration, because nobody has a word. Neither the Canadians that were there, because they are too few, neither the immigrants who are too many, that are just coming from all over the world. So in Canada, I don't think we can talk about this. But what is concerning is that, you see, they don't take into account the fact that, for example, when they run on a platform, there was no war in Ukraine. So now you are in the office, and people didn't vote. Didn't vote neither the fact that you have to be in the war, because this is after. It happened after the election. So to me, and these kind of black swan events are events that are very important in the history of humanity, and they happen, and they don't happen every 4 years. So the question is, with this method of I'm voting for you, I entrust you to take my kids to a certain place, but in there it's war right now, so maybe we have to discuss if you go there. But in this case, it's not like you vote on a certain platform. I wouldn't even want to go that they are lying even in their platforms. Just a side note, go on joebiden.com and you will see there is zero policy. It's just donate. There is, so basically, sometimes they lie, sometimes they don't even say anything, but the question is, after many things happen, and they always can say the situation has changed. Okay, the situation has changed, but then who gave you the authority on that particular subject? So there are potential ways of fixing it through various referendums. France has
but for referendums, someone has to agree to conduct them, and the problem is, who's in charge of that? Someone has to make a decision. So referendum, but then who's going to make a decision?
But the idea is that there are two levels. First is it in the constitution or in the laws that the referendums would work? And this would be the first step, because, for example, if you don't even have it, as a method, then it will not be even considered. And to give an example, in France, they have a referendum, but it was made in such a way that you have to, I think, have 4 million signatures. And how difficult it is to get 4 million signatures. So pretty much, this is kind of, you can create a certain aspect in which, okay, I'm going to create this referendum, but I create all the framework in such a way that you cannot eventually do it. Yes?
Yeah, I understand. Like, you can own guns, but a gun will cost $3 million. Nobody infringes in your right to buy guns, but who has $4 million to buy a handgun? Or you can have a handgun, but no bullets. A bullet will be, I don't know, $100,000. But I don't know. It's I don't know if he is of the same opinion or assessment. It's a lot of how should I put it? they say one thing, and actually when you come over, it's kind of like different. It's on the paper, it looks very good, but when you come and experience it after, not to come and visit as a tourist, it's just fine. Go and see this and see that. But living in these countries, I have to do a little disclaimer. I would rather not live anywhere else but here where I'm right now. My problem here is that I see that this country that on the paper, and not only, if you walk outside, it works, it looks good, but it's going down. And I don't want that to happen. Okay, I'm not criticizing just because I think, Romania is better or Hungary is better or whatever. No, I think this is the best country. My problem is going down. And we came here with some expectations because they were on the paper. We came here and we have one guy elected one time, and he gives $100 million to a guy from Ukraine. We are familiar with what's going on over there, just a life experience.
Also regarding, so this was about aspect of leadership. Another one, which everybody just, it's seen almost like a football game. Who's going to win? While not appreciating why we play, what winning means. It's not like in football, it's very clear what winning is, but in this is not very clear, but we are just taking a certain white and red and we are fighting. But the second part that I also don't hear is at what point, for example, there is general mobilization in Ukraine. You would say that my kid, Emil kid, and another kid, that all of them have 23 years old, they should have the same amount, like percentage-wise, the same chance to be recruited. Now, look at soccer teams of Ukraine. I don't see any player from there who is right now fighting. While, if you think percentage-wise, if half of the youth between 20 and 30 years old were conscripted, half of that team should be also on the front, not playing soccer, because why would an electrician or somebody else be less important than a soccer player? And this act, it's not, I don't take on soccer player, but this basically acts on the fact that some people have their kids protected. And it can be checked by numbers, by probabilities. For example, somebody could go and could see how many people from the Ukrainian parliament have kids between 20 and 30, and how many of them are in the war, on the front, on the first line. And would this say something? Because it's very, very nice. I'm coming here. We are going to fight. We are going to do. We are going, yes. But the question is, how do you make sure that even if we are put into an effort that we don't agree, but at least let's contribute, all of us, at the same level? So if you at the political class, you ask us to fight, I want to see in numbers, it has to be the same. And that's one very important part that is missing, is we are not together. We are all Ukrainian, we are all Canadians, but we are not all together. And I'm saying that it can be checked. It can be checked in economy. It can be checked in various things, that we are really contributing at the same level, not only talking about it. And that part, I don't see it even discussed.
I mean, it's always been like this in a way of, people with influence and money, and they were able to shelter their offspring and not allow them to go and, serve and so on. It's true, but I think that anyway, the Ukraine war is a very much controlled war between the big guys, which is Russia and the United States of America. Therefore, it was an incremental escalation, slowly from almost nothing going to now long-range missile systems and F-16s and boots on the ground, I think, under euphemistic names of inspectors and trainers or whatever they call them. And now they're going to bring some people who are going to check the elections in 2024. They're going to be in the trenches, Zelensky wants. I'm guessing those guys will just go over there and check and see what's your vote. It's been like this, but it's I think we are in a war that people, if they would really understand what exactly happens over there, they would be against it on both sides. I think we're played by elites, and unfortunately the propaganda machine, which is the free mass media, is owned more or less by these guys, and they push the same narrative. And what can we do? Start over. We should try to end. So if you have
like conclusions are difficult, but what I'm trying to say is, if you go into an effort in which your kid is at risk to die, please make sure in the name of an idea which is propagated to you by me or by Emil, please make sure that our kids also participate in that effort. Don't just blindly participate. This would make a lot of less wars, less conflict, if these people would be held accountable. And I agree with Emil totally that all the time there were traffic of influence, but right now it's far simpler to check. You go on internet, you want to find out about a politician, you immediately, it's far more easy to create a statistic right now. I'm not saying that's why it's very important statistic, because if it's 1 in 200 politicians and 10 out of 20 of the regular guys, that's not equal effort. So you should talk with your politicians to support the effort too.
Well, I think that this democratic model that we have, at least here in the United States of America, is very flawed. It can be tweaked, and I also disagree with one biped, one vote, because we have different abilities or lack of, and certain people are able to vote and put these guys in office, and then you see what's going on here. But that's for a different different video that we're gonna probably pursue at a later date. So thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.